What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Red Tide Politics channel, and today's going to be a very interesting one. Right now, I have Maryland Predictions YT with me, if you want to say hello, Maryland Predictions.
Hello. My channel uh, uh is in the description, and you can go watch this video on my channel. But today's video is basically all the most likely Democratic candidates against Donald Trump.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Right now, we have Trump, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, and Buttigieg, however you want to say his name. And then we also have RFK Jr. just to throw in there, just to make it a little more realistic. So we will start out with Kamala Harris. This one is a very interesting one, just because this one has a lot of polls that have come out more than probably any of these candidates that has Trump ahead in most of these. Actually, the latest one, I believe, had her down by 2. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do check 538 on all of these alternate Biden candidate polls. So
Okay. Alright, so I guess we'll start out with the safe states. Again, as in one of my last videos, I showed off the new template saying to Hawkeye, conservative Hawkeye politics. He was very gracious and thankful to, number one, have his condolences to share the templates with me, and also, he also was helpful in doing that, and also showing me how to use them. So let me start out with the safe states. As in I showed is my last video, or one of my last videos. So we're going to start out with the safe states for the Republican Party, as in Trump. So we're going to do these safe states as in they're going to vote above 13 points, which is what I've been using. A lot of people use 15, some people use 10, but I like to use 13. I think it's a great starting point. So let me do the 13% column, which the states are going to be 13%. Ohio, Iowa, Florida.
yeah.
Yeah. So right now, these are really most of the states that will be above 13 points. I can also include Maine second, and if I'm not missing anything, I think that is mostly Texas is going to be one of those things. I don't think it'll be at 13 with Kamala Harris.
It'll probably be like high, like maybe 12 or
Yeah,
so.
12, maybe 11. So that one I will put in that second red, which is around the safe to likely column. It's the upper likelies. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do the safe states for Kamala Harris, which will be California. Really, Oregon is going to be one of those states that I don't know if it'll be safe or not. I will put it in that second color.
It'll be like
Yeah, it will be around
yeah.
12,
It'll be like
13.
Texas.
Yeah. And then Washington is one of those states that's not going to be like Oregon. That one is very hard to get below likely column or below a safe column, which is one of those states. And then same thing for Illinois. It is going to be around the same thing as Oregon. I think we can agree on that. Just because that state really depends on the candidate. Like for Barack Obama, he won it by quite a considerable margin since he was the senator there. And yeah, really, it depends on the candidate. So I really think if Trump was versing Kamala Harris, I really think that that would be
Oh, I think
really
you
upper
forgot to
likely.
put Hawaii as safe.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, let me do that. My bad. Okay. Then really these states, Delaware, since Biden is not on the ballot because he's was the senator there, it will be that lower likely, that higher likely. My bad. Same thing for New
Yeah.
Jersey. I don't buy the narrative that New Jersey's close. I think it's gonna be like closer than 2020, but I don't buy the narrative. Even though if Trump's gonna be on the ballot with Kamala Harris, I just don't buy it. Same thing for Connecticut, Vermont is gonna be around the same margin just because it. Number one, you have the Bernie Sanders Democrats, and you have all of them that will be like split ticket balloting and all that. It's gonna be a really weird thing. And then also we're gonna have New York as that lower likely column. That one's going to be just around 13, maybe 12 points. It's going to be barely below the safe column. And and Colorado. I will, I'll put it in that that higher likely column just because, oh, sorry, my bad. Maine's first. That one is also going to be safe just because that one is a really hard state to move in a case of a narrative. That one's going to be very hard to move. Right now, this is what I have for the higher likely and safe columns. Right now, Trump is at 219 electoral votes, and Kamala Harris is at 191. So now let me fill in the likely to lean states, which is going to start out. We're going to have
In North Carolina.
North Carolina, Georgia. We're also going to have, I want to consider, yeah, we'll do Nevada and I really think that's it. If I'm correct, really, it's kind of these
Yeah,
states
I
like really gonna be
put
closer.
Wisconsin a tier level.
Yeah, just a tier lower. And then we're gonna do them for Kamala
Yeah.
Harris, which Virginia, it's gonna be way closer. So I would really consider maybe being in that fourth color. I'll put it in the fourth color. I'll do lean states after in a minute. I'm just doing the yeah. Okay, so then really, to be honest, I'm gonna put New Mexico in the same color as Virginia, just because that state really depends. Number one, on turnout. Number two, who's on the ballot there. It really depends. Yes, that was a state that voted for Biden by 10. But also, you're going to have Kamala Harris, which she is not very liked in that state whatsoever if you look at polls. Latest polls from actually Biden's own team had Trump winning the state. So if Kamala Harris is not really that much liked, I would not consider her to win like that well. Listen, I think she'll do well, a little more well across the border just because she was the senator of California. But really, it's one of those states that it will really go either way. I just, at this point, I don't buy the narrative that Trump wins it. In the best case scenario, maybe, but against Biden or Kamala Harris, it really just depends on turnout, who's on the ballot and what the issues are. If there are different issues, I would give it to Trump, but also you're going to have people like in Virginia who don't really like Trump. It's going to stay around the same, just a lesser margin. I think I can agree with this map right now. Marilyn, what do you think?
Yeah. I would actually put New Mexico a tier higher, but I mean it's probably gonna be close anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It really, that one is going to be one of those states that can be between that likely and lean column and that point. Listen, if I see more data that Trump's ahead, I will gladly put it. It's just at this point, I'm not comfortable putting it in the Trump column as of now. So now, I will move on to the closer states, which is going to be between that lower likely and that tilt column, which for you guys, if you know, that is below 1% for tilt and anywhere from 4.9 to 1.1% for lean. And then you're going to probably split that down the middle for the lower and the higher likely. I mean lean, sorry. Okay, so right now, let's fill it in for Trump. So right now, we're going to have Arizona. Just because Kamala Harris is not liked in that state whatsoever, really, I'm going to put it just a tier lower than Nevada and Georgia.
I would also put Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yes, as well. Wisconsin, same color. Same thing for Pennsylvania. And you can actually Trump wins. And really, at this point, we can also do these just because I do not think that Kamala Harris wins Minnesota. Just because you have those like white collar voters, you have those bellwether Democrats. It really will go either way in this state. Like if you have another issue or you have Amy Klobuchar on the ballot, they're not gonna vote for the Democrat. They're gonna vote either way. So really, I would see the Rust Belt going this way. Then you go also. I want to also consider Maine at large, just because that state, you're gonna have the third party like RFK. That one's going to affect it there. But you have Kamala Harris, but she's not liked. I've said that many times. She's not liked.
Yeah.
So, really, that one is going to be probably the closest one of them all, if not New Hampshire. Then I'm also going to do
those white suburban...
Yeah, the white...
They're going to go for Kennedy over here.
Yeah, I agree with that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the last states, which we have 5 more electoral votes. And then again, it doesn't matter. Trump's already at 324. So... yeah. Also, the reason why we didn't include Michael or Michelle Obama in this story, just because we don't really have a lot of data. The last poll had her up by 10, and then the last one had Trump up. So really, the reason why we didn't put her in there is just because it's just we need more data. We have a little more data for these 4 candidates than really any of them. So that's why we didn't put her in. If you can agree with that, Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me fill in New Hampshire and then Nebraska second. So for New Hampshire, it's going to probably be around the same margin as most likely Maine at large. Just a little bit more for Kamala Harris. Then again, didn't vote for Trump in 2016, and you know how Clinton was in New Hampshire in 2016. She barely won the state, so I don't see Trump winning it, even though he's winning 324. And then, really, Nebraska's second. I want to give it to Trump just by the thinness of margin. It's gonna be thin. Like, really, I could see it go for Kamala Harris. It's just like one of those districts that really could go either way. But I would be comfortable giving it to Trump if you're giving him Minnesota, for example. So this is what we have for Kamala Harris. Right now, she has 213.
213.
And then Trump has 325. Now, I've directed the first one. I'm going to let Maryland Predictions direct the second one. I'm going to try to speed it up because this video is already getting pretty long anyway. I might have to cut it into 2 parts. Yeah. So let me do it. Let me clear it, and then I will let I will let him direct it. All right, so we're gonna go into move on Gavin Newsom. All right, Maryland, what do you want to fill in for the safe states?
I'll start with the safe Democratic states. I think Newsom wins Washington, California. I don't think his governorship in California is really going to affect Oregon that much, so I'll put Oregon in that second color tier.
Okay.
In New Mexico, sorry, not New Mexico. We're not getting to that yet, but Hawaii is safe, D.C., Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont are all safe.
Okay.
I have Connecticut. That second tier, along with Delaware.
Okay.
And New York, and I have New Jersey, like that really low, but still that second color tier.
Okay.
In Illinois, that is that second color.
Okay.
Colorado, I'll also put it in that second color.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now we can move on to those safe and second-tier Trump states. Okay. Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, first and third, Nebraska at large, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri. I do see Iowa and Ohio going safe. Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. Okay. I have Florida being that safe, and Texas as well because of Newsom's stance on immigration.
And also Alaska, right?
Alaska's also safe, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So right now we have Trump at 218 electoral votes, Gavin Newsom at 190.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with the third-tier Democratic states. I forgot to fill in Maine's second and first.
Oh, yes.
I have Maine's second being safe Trump, and Maine's first being safe.
Okay. Maine's first. Okay. All right, cool. All right.
Okay, so we can start with the third tiers.
Okay. For
I have
Democrat, yeah, right?
Yeah, Democrat.
Okay.
Virginia. I have Virginia being that third color.
Okay.
And it is New Mexico as well.
Okay.
Oh, you have to change Virginia to that third one. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, okay.
It's already the third
one. No, you're good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now North Carolina, let's do the Trump third tier ones.
Okay.
I don't think Newsom's actually going to push that many black voters to vote for Democrats. So I actually have North Carolina being that second tier, and Georgia being that third tier.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But Georgia's going to be that high third tier.
Okay.
In Wisconsin, I also have it as that third tier.
Really? Okay.
In Pennsylvania, I have it as that fourth tier, as well as Michigan and Arizona and Nevada.
Oh, did you say Minnesota?
Not Minnesota, yeah.
Okay. So you said...
No, I said Arizona and Nevada.
Okay. Is this correct? Yeah? Yeah? fourth tier. Pretty sure.
Okay. For Minnesota, I have that going tilt that lowest tier Trump.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And I think the Harris parts for the Nebraska second and Maine at large stay the same. And I also have New Hampshire going to Trump by the lowest tier.
really? Okay, so that's a change. Okay. So, so right now this is an update. Trump gets now 329 electoral votes, and then Gavin Newsom gets 209. So that is a big update. At this point, I'm going to cut it into a second part just because this is already 15 minutes long. I'll catch you guys on the second part just because I don't want this video to be too long. So we can cut it into 2 parts, and also I can upload it everywhere else. Alright, so I'm going to cut it here, and I will catch you guys on the second part.